When you hear the name Lisa Manoban, you probably think of a global superstar, right? Record-breaking artist, fashion icon, just one of the most famous idols on the entire planet. But what if I told you that behind all that dazzling success, there's a story of incredible struggle, sacrifice, and just sheer resilience? So let's pull back the curtain and really explore the unseen battles that shaped the icon we see today.
To really get a sense of her journey, you have to start with this number. In 2010, YG Entertainment held auditions in Thailand. Now, 4,000 hopeful kids showed up, all dreaming of that one big chance. And out of all of them, only one person was accepted. Just one. And that person was a 14-year-old Lisa. I mean, think about those odds. They were just astronomical, right from the very beginning.
And from that 1 in 4,000 chance, she didn't just make it, she built a whole empire. We're not just talking about being a member of a famous group. She's a phenomenon all on her own. She's the most followed K-pop idol on Instagram. She's smashing YouTube records as a solo artist. She's the face of some of the biggest luxury brands in the world. I mean, the list just goes on. This is what the absolute peak of success looks like. But to really understand what it costs to get there, we gotta go all the way back to the start. Yeah, let's rewind a bit. Because before she was a global idol, before all the brand deals and the broken records, she was just a young girl back in Thailand who had this incredible, undeniable passion for dance. This is where that dream really started, long before the world had any idea who she was. So her story begins as Pranpriya Manoban. She fell completely in love with dancing at just 4 years old and basically poured her entire childhood into it. And here's a really cool little detail. Right before her big break, a priest actually advised her to change her name to Lalisa for good fortune. You know, whether you call it luck, destiny, or just pure talent, something definitely worked. At 14, she walked into that fateful audition and became the only one picked. But here's the thing. Winning that audition wasn't the finish line. Oh no. It was more like the starting gun for the toughest race of her life. The next step was this giant, terrifying leap into the unknown, moving to South Korea all by herself to start years of grueling training. And this is where the real struggle began. And you don't have to take my word for it. She's talked about this time herself. And her words, they paint a really painful picture. Just try to imagine being a young teenager, thousands of miles away from your family, in a country where you don't know a single soul. She was so incredibly homesick, often calling her mom in tears, not even able to find the words to explain how lonely she was. And that's the crucial part. It wasn't just loneliness, it was complete and total isolation. She got to Korea at 14, and she didn't know a single word of Korean, not one. She couldn't communicate what she needed, what she was afraid of, or how she was feeling. And to make it even harder, the company actually told everyone to only speak to her in Korean to force her to learn faster. It just plunged her deeper and deeper into silence. And the reality of being a trainee, it was a million miles away from the glamorous life we see now. The BLACKPINK members have talked about how grim their first storm was. They barely had enough money for food, only going grocery shopping once a month. And get this, their place was so infested with cockroaches that Lisa, being the bravest one, became the designated bug catcher. I mean, that was her daily reality. So all of this pressure, the crushing homesickness, the language barrier, the tough living conditions, and never knowing if he'll even get to debut, it all just piled up. And she hit a breaking point, a moment where she seriously thought, you know what, maybe I should just go home. Just give this all up and go back to school like a normal kid. But that fire, that passion for performing, it was just a little bit stronger than her desire to quit. After 5 long, hard years, she finally did it. She debuted with BLACKPINK. And you'd think, okay, the hardest part is over now, right? Well, not even close. In reality, a brand new, much more public battle was just getting started. Fame, as she was about to find out, has a very, very dark side. The second she stepped into the spotlight, the online hate was just relentless. It came from all angles. She was targeted for not being Korean. Vicious comments attacked her looks, saying she didn't fit certain beauty standards. People spread these cruel, totally baseless rumors about her gender and that she'd had tons of plastic surgery. It was a constant barrage. And this right here is a perfect example of one of the main attacks. Critics would take these really specific, often unflattering photos from her childhood and put them next to professional photos of her as an adult. They were completely ignoring the natural changes that happen when you grow up.
It was such a dishonest and deeply unfair way to attack a young woman's appearance.
Thankfully, she had people in her corner. After one really vicious wave of racist comments after an award show, her childhood friend, Bam Bam, who's another Thai K-pop idol, he spoke out. He said he called her to check in, and he told everyone that he knew she had a good heart and that eventually time would show everyone her true nature. In a storm like that, having someone stand up for you like that, it meant everything.
But the challenges were about to get a lot worse. They escalated from just nasty online comments to very real, very personal dangers that threatened not just her money, but her physical safety. The first hit was just a devastating betrayal of trust. The group's manager, somebody who'd been with them since day one, was a person Lisa trusted completely. She saw him like a friend, almost like an older brother, and she trusted him enough to help her invest the money she had worked so hard for. But that trust was completely shattered. He took her money, telling her he was going to invest it in real estate, but instead, he gambled it all away. She lost over $28,000. And yeah, the financial loss hurt, but the betrayal from someone she thought of as family, that was absolutely devastating.
And then the situation turned genuinely terrifying. An account online started posting these credible death threats, saying they were going to harm Lisa at an upcoming event. Fans, of course, were horrified and they mobilized online. But what's really shocking is that it got so serious that the Thai embassy in South Korea had to officially step in. They contacted her company and demanded they take action to protect her. That's how real it was.
So, you hear all of that, the loneliness, the hate, the betrayal, the threats, and you'd think a person would just crumble under that weight, right? But Lisa? Nope. She didn't just endure all of it. She thrived. Her spirit proved to be completely and totally unbreakable.
And on top of everything else, personal tragedy struck in the absolute cruelest way you can imagine. On the day she was supposed to be celebrating her 24th birthday, her beloved grandfather passed away. And because of the pandemic, she hadn't been able to see him in 2 whole years, which meant she never got to say goodbye. A day that should have been a celebration was now forever tied to this profound loss.
And yet, look at what she was achieving professionally during these exact same years. While she was facing all of these personal and public battles, she was also becoming a global ambassador for the world's biggest brands, releasing a solo album that shattered records, and winning a historic award at the VMAs. Her professional success was basically a direct answer to all that negativity. It was a testament to her incredible inner strength.
And the world? The world responded. Today, she has over 80 million followers on Instagram alone. Now, this isn't just some vanity number. It represents a huge global community of fans who have stood by her, defended her, and celebrated her. They basically built this wall of overwhelming love and support that just drowns out all the hate.
So what's the big takeaway here? Lisa's story is such a powerful reminder that what we see on stage, that perfect image, is only a tiny fraction of the reality. Her journey from being that 1 in 4,000 hopeful to a global icon was paved with so much hardship. It really makes you wonder, right? For every star that we admire, how many invisible fights did they have to win just to get where they are?